Exercise 18 now. So now we're going to be working with 1-point stairs, but we're going to change their position, and we're going to have, instead of a side view, we're going to have a view now from frontal, but the depth will be converging in. So let's sharpen up your pencil, and that means we're going to need to have a incline vanishing point, or you can call it an auxiliary vanishing point, whatever you call it. As long as you use it, that's the main thing. But it will be using rule number 3 in perspective as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set in the horizon line here a little bit higher. And we're going to put our level vanishing point, our first vanishing point. We'll do it roughly in the center. So I'm 24 inches in, so that'll be 12, and I've got a couple of inches extra, or a couple of quarter on the other end. So I'm going to just make sure you're in the center. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to put mine about right here. It looks really good and clean. So that's my VP. That's going to be VPL for level vanishing point. So anything level on the ground will go to that vanishing point. Okay, so we have that. So I'm going to put stairs number 1 here slightly off center from our first vanishing point. So I'm going to start it over here, and we'll get going. So the first thing that we're going to need is we're going to put down, if you will, the base of our stair. So I'll draw a horizontal line through, and you can't see that dust, so I'll have to come up a little bit. Here we go. So let's draw a horizontal line there, coming through, and now I want to bring up the height of my stairs, and so I think I will make them about this high. You can make them an inch high. Let's measure that and see. That will be about an inch, will be about right there. So let's just make them a nice clean measurement. So that's an inch high, and then I'll just bring them over. This will be arbitrary, and I'll end them about right here. Okay, so a little bit different in view now. Now the stairs are to the side, right, in a sense, or front to us, but the depth is going to be converging now back to our vanishing point. So that's important to see. Okay, so we have that. So the first thing we want to establish now is an auxiliary vanishing point, or a incline vanishing point, or vanishing point number 2 if you want. Whatever that means to you, that's fine. That in order to do that, the vanishing point must be on the same linear line, vertical in this case, since it's inclined, up from the VP. Now, the higher you go, the more the incline is. So what I like to do, and here's what I want to show you, is kind of how far you want that incline to be. Now, there are 2 places we're going to take our inclines up. The bottom here, our bottoms here, in here, and also our tops here and here of our stairs. Okay? Now, you can do it this way. You can say, okay, I think I want an incline here. Wherever that touches and bisects up here, that's where your vanishing point will be. Or you can put a vanishing point here and then start to draw back and say, I like that. Either way is fine. It's doing the same thing. I kind of like to start here and say, okay, I think I may want to slope about, like this. So watch this. So I'll draw a diminishment line to our VP now, incline VP, or auxiliary VP, or VP. I'm going to put VPI for incline right there. So now our slopes, remember from exercise 17, they were all parallel. Now they're not. Now they'll be converging to our incline vanishing point. That means this line, this slope will go to the vanishing point incline, and this back line here of our stairs here, and also right through here as well. So let's see how that's going to work out for us. Okay, so what we can do now is let's set in a little bit of the back of our base of our stairs. That needs to go back to the level vanishing point. So I'm going to throw a line to the level vanishing point, VPL here, and VPL. Remember, the stairs are sitting on the ground, so that's level. It's the slope of the stairs as we can control them up into space that's important. what we want. Well, how do we do that? All right, so let's talk about the real difficult part here. Let's pull in a little bit so you can see a little bit better right in through there. Okay. So now we need to go back to the level vanishing point level, here to here. Where that crosses this line, that tells us the length of our tread. That's what our slope gets us. This is our slope. The blue line is our slope. All right, so level, go back to our level vanishing point here, right to there. Where it touches that blue line, our slope line, that's where we stop, okay? Then we can bring it over, or we could do the same thing if you want over here to help you out. So we can do it from the top, we reach that bottom blue line, since it's further away, right there, bingo. That tells us, see how they line up? That tells us there and there where our tread ends, right there. So there's our first step. Right there. Isn't that nice how that helps to control that depth for us in perspective? Now we need to take up a riser. So it's a little bit easier to see over here. From that corner, we go up, stop where it meets the slope line, right? That tells us to come all the way over to our second line here, right there. Boom. There we go. And I can keep coming over a little bit. Right in through here. And there we go, right there. There's our slope. Slope helps to control tread and riser. Remember, this is the bottom of our stairs. So we're almost aligned to our center of vision. So it's going to be a very slight view of the corner of these stairs. All right. So look, we have one more to do. We'll do 3 steps. So now from this point, we'll go back to our level vanishing point, right there, where they meet right there. That's the end of the tread. Same, we can do the same thing over here. From the corner of our stairs back to our level vanishing point, where they meet right there, that's the end of the tread. It works out very, very nicely. There we go. Make sure they line up. My pencil's a little thick. Right in through there. Okay, so we have that, so we can darken that in here. There we go. And to here. There we go. Okay. So now we want to bring up our last riser. Bring up our last vertical right to there. Bring up our last vertical. Okay, right to our top. Blue line right to there. Where they meet up nicely. Bingo, right there. Let's do one more. Let's do 4. Let's do 4 treads. I haven't completed this back yet because I want to do a platform. It's easier to do a platform and bring it down than it would be to arbitrarily end it. I'd have to do more scaling, which I don't want to really do yet. All right, so from this corner back to our level vanishing points where they meet our slope line, we'll stop. I can draw all the way through. It meets right in through there. We could draw all the way through there where it meets right in through there where they touch our blue line here and here. There's our tread. Isn't that beautiful how that just works out nicely for us? And we get those nice, even, equal stairs stepping up as we continue to go on. And let's bring up one more riser. Here where it meets our slope line, right? We go up here. This is where keep your pencil sharp helps. That's where it meets your slope line, because this starts to really ask for you to be very exact. And so that was our last riser here. Let's go back now to our level VP. Let's go all the way back here, and we can decide how far we want our stairs to end now. If we want to, if we wanted them to be the thickness of the tread, it'd be right here. Let's make it real thick. I'm going to make it about right there in perspective. So I'll bring horizontal over. Okay, I'll stop it right there. That's the end of our stairs here to there. Darken that in so you can see it. Now I bring that vertical down on the side of the stairs. Here, over to there. Where that diminishment line is, right here. There we go. And on over. And now we have a different view of stairs. Broke my pencil, so I'll talk while I'm sharpening. And now we have a view of stairs that's very different from our side view. We have a front view of stairs now with the diminishment in slope that have been controlled by a new vanishing point, a auxiliary vanishing point, or a vertical vanishing point that's inclined, or what I like to call is the inclined vanishing point. You'll hear it called a couple of different, auxiliary or inclined vanishing point, or verticality. Just know that will always be in alignment to your level vanishing point, raised up or in decline when you need a decline. We'll do that later, to the degree that you want it to be, either aesthetically or if you're scaling and doing a lot of measuring, to the degree that you need to as well. We saw that in exercise 16 with the house that we did. I'll show you later on when you do an incline and decline of stairs. If you're on a flat level surface, they will be the same distance both above and below. They will be equal to get the plane that you need. Okay, so let's tone this in a little bit and let's see what we wrought here with our stairs a little bit. Okay, so we have now our risers here. Here's our riser. You could do this in different colors if you wanted to as well. I'm just going to show you that. I'll do the treads in blue. So there was our blue tread here. Our second riser coming up. Remember, risers are always coming up here. Notice how they're diminishing as we're going back, and they're also, because they're stairs, they're raising up into space, and they're getting closer and closer to eye level, or eye line. That was our next tread, our next riser. So if this is an inch, 1 inch equals a foot. This is a foot, that's a foot, that's a foot. But they are diminishing in scale and size because they're moving away from us in perspective. So there's our next tread. Here's our last riser, number 4, with our last tread on top here, more like a platform ride, a little bit thicker. This could be perhaps an exhibition stage for Olympic medals or something where you could step up. And of course we have our side view that's very much a slithered view because we're close to our center of vision, and we move it over just a little bit, we won't see the left or the right side in space. Okay, so there we go. There is stairs number 1 in exercise 18, where we have a vanishing point inclined to the slope and distance that we want it to be above here to get the degree that we want in space. So that determines your degree of your slope. That's very important to see in perspective. Okay, let's do one. Let's move over and do one on the other side of the vanishing point. So let's start that now. So let me sharpen up, and we'll use the same vanishing point. We're just going to move these stairs over a bit. So it's like we're looking at 2 sets of stairs, if you will. All right, so let's do that. We'll use the same baseline here. I'm going to move these over a little bit, and you can determine that, how far you want. I'm just going to put a light line from our level vanishing point, which is our center of vision vanishing point. I'm just going to put it straight down here to show you something. Yeah, I visualize it, but I want to make manifest out into the drawing world here what I'm looking at. So, you know, this space is this much from our center of vision. So if I move it further over here, the further I move either way, right, the more of side view of the platform that I'm going to see. So I want to move it over a little bit further than this one. I want to see more platform. So I might start my stairs then about right here. Bring them over to there where you can see, yeah, you can just see them in through there. So that's good. So I'm going to bring them over right here. And so what's going to happen, I'm going to darken that in so you can see that. And what's going to happen is we'll see more of a side view over here than we will on that one. I think that's important. Okay, so let me bring the riser up first here. Let's make it 1 inch, same as that one. And so since it's the same baseline, I'll just bring this over like so. It's the same measurement, a little bit longer. Okay. And we'll bring it up here. And we'll bring it up there. There we go. Okay, so I overdrew there a little bit. Let me go back and now erase, clean that up a little bit. I don't want any any confusion there. So let's take these little erase marks, take them out here. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we can set in our slope. Remember how we did that? So we took from the top and bottom of our stairs here, our riser here, and we go back to our inclined vanishing point that's inclined up here. Same as before. I like setting a little bit of space. They're not quite so close together. It gives us a little bit more room to work with. And we'll do it on the other side here. That sets in our slope. It locks in the slope at which we're working nice and cleanly. And it's an arbitrary slope that I set in. I just did it aesthetically, how high I wanted it. Okay, so let's set in now our first tread. And it's already predetermined for us. And the reason why this is because we have to go back now to the level vanishing point from the end of the corner here of our stair. So that already gets predetermined. That means that wherever that line bisects the bottom here, that's where our tread ends. Same thing that happens down and through here on each side, right there and there. So there we have our determination of our tread right there. And there we go. Okay. All right. And cut. Yeah. And 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, so now that we have a determination for a tread, I think it's going to be important to develop the bottom a little bit so we don't get confused. That confused me for a second. So I had to stop and think about it. All right, so right there, that's going to be this bottom over here, back to our level VP. It can be confusing. No, so that's going to give us a little slighter, wider view of our stairs. Okay, so now we have our first tread. So let's bring up our riser. Okay, from here, from this corner, let's bring it up to where it touches our slope line right there. Same thing over here to where it touches our slope line right there. I'm going to overdraw a little bit so I can see where they connect best. There and there. And there's the end of our riser right there. Now let's go back to our level vanishing point to find the length in perspective, the depth, which is controlled by our slope line. Works out nicely for us. I'll overdraw just a little bit, and here, overdraw just a little bit where they touch our slope line. Right there, that's the start of our next riser, right through there. And we'll keep on going up with our next riser here. We'll overdraw a little bit. And here, we'll overdraw. See where they connect up best, right there. There's our riser. Okay. So you're constantly being in check by your slope. Here's your slope coming up. Isn't that nice? It connects, helps you to stop and get the depth, not only the height, but also the distance of your tread, right? And also the height of your risers, which are still truly vertical. So your risers right now, and will be in 1 and 2, are still truly vertical. Okay, all right, so let's go back now to the level vanishing point from here over, and from here over. And let's see where they connect up right through there. Bingo. There's your next tread. And let's bring up one more riser from this corner here up to our slope line, a little bit past, so it bisects it, so I can get a good feel for where they both touch the best. Because the thickness of the line right there feels really good. There we go. And now let's bring the top platform over to our vanishing point, our level vanishing point. Remember, we have a level vanishing point and we have an inclined vanishing point. So there's the side of our platform. Now what I could do is cut it off at the same distance as our other one by just bringing this vertical all the way across here. And where it touches, that's where it bisects. So it's a little bit different view. So they're the same length in depth there. And I can bring this vertical down. And here we go, right there. We brought that vertical down there. That's where that ends here. Okay. And we'll bring this over and through. And bingo, there we go. Now we have 2 sets of stairs in with different multiple views now. Since we're pushed over a little bit from the center of vision, we're going to get a little wider view of our stairs, which I like. Gives a little bit more dimension to that kind of harsh 1-point reality. So let's pull back a little bit. Let's widen that up a little bit so you can see that more cleanly and clearly. Of course, you could do the same thing out here, but you'd have to have an incline even further. Okay, so let's clean up these stairs a little bit, and if you want to shade your own, you can. I'm just going to darken mine in really cleanly so you can see this quickly and cleanly, hopefully. There and there. And we'll work on just the dimensions here. There, and there, and here. So you're beginning to see how a simple procedure, rule number 3 in perspective, can really help with auxiliary vanishing points, both inclined and later on declined, can give us a nice overall picture. We can control nice, interesting aspects of spatial depth. So we have our riser, then we have our tread, we have our riser right, then we have our tread going back in space, riser up, tread going back in space, riser up, and then tread going back to our top platform and through here. And of course, every step along the way somebody would make, we would be able to see their shoes and their feet. Why? Because everything right now is below eye level. It starts to change when it gets above eye level as well. Okay, there we go. It's exercise 18. Let's move on, I think, now to, exercise 19. Now let's do a measured view where we actually give ourselves the full fundamental setup so that we can create a cone of vision and a ground line, and we can do some exact measuring of how truly high and deep and wide we want stairs if you need that for your drawing. So that's the next segue into the next exercise. Exercise number 19. Okay, exercise 19. For this drawing, we're going to be doing stairs now with our setup, our fundamental four, cone of vision, our station point, eye line, and our center of vision. And that way we can find our station point, put our stairs relatively inside the cone if we want, and then but also use a ground line measuring line and to give our stairs a real sense of scaling in purpose, which we haven't done beforehand. Okay, so that means that I'm going to be doing my setup. I've got an 18-inch by 24-inch paper, so if you want to be accurate to mine, I'm going to come across the horizontal, the vertical side, the left side. I'm 18, so that's 9 inches for my center. I made a mark there, and I'm going to bring over the horizon line all the way across, and then put my center of vision here, my center point of the center of vision at 12 inches in. Okay, so we have our VP there and also our center of vision. And then I'm going to give that now all the way down, center of vision all the way down both vertically here, okay, all the way above and below the ground plane. So just a setup we've done plenty of times or before. That's innate, that's always with us. Our fundamental four, so our center of vision, right, and our eye line, we have that. Okay, so I want to set in the station point. The station point I have in my notes, I want from the vanishing point here to be 6 1/4 inches down from the vanishing point. So just measure in a 6 1/4 inches. If you're 7 inches, that's probably just okay too, as well. Or 6 inches is fine. So there's my station point right there. There's my SP. Remember, that's where we are. Our 2-point version of us. We're flapped down, right, looking in this way. And then if we're flapped up here, that's our distance looking into our composition. Keep that in mind. Okay, so let's find our cone. Remember quickly, our cone is 30 degrees, and so we only need one of those marks. So we'll set up our triangle from the point of our station point, the end of our station point, along the center of vision to find our 30-degree mark right there. Okay, there's one end of our 30-degree mark, and I can just come across here really quickly, set up my compass, and get the radius now for our cone, which looks lines up like a circle, right? There we go. So bring it over nice and clean. And there is our cone of vision, where little distortion or much less distortion happens in through there. So there's our 30 degree. Then I can come back and clean it up on this side, right in through there. So there's 30 degrees for us here and here. And we also want a 45 now degree measuring point. So we're going to come in from our station point, and we're going to go out at 45 degrees. Okay, so here's 45, right? So we're going to come out. You know how to do this now. Line it up with our center of vision. Come out to your station point nice and cleanly, and out to right there on the horizon line on our eye level. That's our 45 degree measuring point. All right. Okay. So now we're good to go there. Okay. So now what we want to do is set up some scaling. Now we have an opportunity to put our stairs in and get a sense of scaling with our drawing. Here's our 30-degree cone of vision in through here. All right. So let's keep our stairs a little bit off center. We'll keep it mostly in our cone of vision, but maybe just a little bit outside would be okay as well. Okay, so let's put our ground line about here, and I'm going to come in with our camera now that we can get a little closer. You've seen the setup. So let's pull in here where you can start to see a little bit closer. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Bear with me. There we go. So you can see that. If we need to have the station point back, we'll do that, but I don't think so. Make this nice and level again. There we go. All right, so let's put our ground line about right in here. Feels pretty good. And I'm going to draw horizontal across right in through there. And we're going to just set up the front edge of our steps. Our steps we're going to be looking front into. And so I'm going to set our scale in at 1 inch equals 1 foot. Okay, so our stairs are going to be 4 by 1 by, so 4 feet wide by 1 inch or 1 foot tall by 2 deep. Let me write that down so we have it. So stairs are going to be 4 feet wide, okay, by 1 feet tall, okay, by 2 feet in depth, or 2 feet going back into space. Okay, so they're going to be twice as long as they are short. Of course, they're going to be going up. Okay, so we know that we need 4 feet in width. So we'll start our measuring line right here. This will be 0. And 1 inch equals a foot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right in through there. All right, so we're good to go there. Okay? So, and we also know that we need to bring a vertical up too for the height of our stairs. They'll be 1 foot tall. Okay? So we come up a little bit right through there. We need 1 foot for our stairs, 1 foot tall. So our scale 1 inch equals 1 foot. There's 1 inch right there. So I'll put a mark there, and now we can start to cook a little bit. We'll bring that over. I'll overdraw just a little bit so those will connect. Right there, there's our stair, our first stair, right there. Now we're good to go. Okay. All right, so now we need to determine how much slope we want. Here's our VP. This is our level VP. That's L for level, right? Now let's take a look and let's elevate. We can go arbitrary again. Let's go arbitrary now, and let's elevate our slope and see what we want in terms of a slope. Maybe, I don't know, maybe right here looks reasonable enough. So let's put that. Let me sharpen my blue pencil. This will give you a moment to sharpen yours if you need to. Figure everything out. So quickly do that. There we go. Keep it nice and sharp. So let's put our incline vanishing point right there. Let me darken that in so you can see that. Here we go. So that's VP, and then I'm going to put I for incline right there. That's where we'll take our slope to. So let's do that now. This will look a lot like our prior exercise, but now it's going to be measured. So we'll do that here. And we'll do that here. Okay. And we'll come over there. Okay. And we'll come over to there and through. All right. All right, so we have that going for us now. Okay, so we got that working out for us. And cut. Yep. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, so we have that now. So let's go take from our level vanishing point, our end corners here. Let's go back to our level VP here, okay, and here, right there, very lightly coming across that way, especially. Now, the depth of our stairs are going to be 2 feet distant. So Here's 2 right here. So we have that 45-degree measuring point that we need. So we 1, 2 right there. So we go from 2 back over to our 45-degree measuring point right there. Bingo. That's where we'll come through. Right in through there, I'll make a mark. Right in through there. And that's where we want relatively our tread to roughly end at. So we'll come up here, we'll bring that up a little bit higher, okay? And so we roughly want to end it right there in terms of our slope. It should, I've already figured out that's the way I've got our notes, but it's going to be pretty close. So let's measure that in. Yeah, it was pretty close right in through there. So what I should have done, just in case you this lesson, do this over again, is set in your depth and distance first here in terms of the scaling, move that over, and then adjust your, what I should have done is adjusted my my slope to meet that level. I can do it this way. I've done it in my notes. I'm taking my notes for granted, but I think this is a good point. I don't want to reshoot this video. So the only thing I would do differently is before I get my slope, bring over, if you want 2 feet for your measurement, or it's 4 feet or whatever, if your stairs are bigger, bring over your measurement first, bring that up, and then align your slope tread higher or lower to meet that depth and dimension. That's going to be very, very important to get the 4 by 1 by 2, which is what we're talking about, to work out for you. All right, so keep that in mind. So now we'll go back and we'll set our tread, which is 2 here, because I'm just bringing up the 2 over this depth and distance, bringing up the 2 now to there, and see how it lines up. I'm taking my notes for granted that you would know that. I can't do that. That's not fair to you. All right, so there's our tread. Let's bring it up from this point here over level vanishing point over where they meet up here and here. That's about 2 feet in our scaling. Right there is our tread. So make sure that you know that. Sorry about that. Sometimes I even get ahead of myself. This is the first time I've caught myself getting ahead a little bit. Okay, so make sure that you understand that. It's all I did was, before I set my slope, set the depth of the stair first, then adjust your slope to make sure that that meets that. So I do these exercises before from my old notes, clear them up, so I make sure I've got it clearly how I want it, and that's a step that I went ahead of. So just make sure that that's important, because this line right there is 2 feet away from us. How do I know that? Here's our 2 feet, here's our 45-degree measuring point, and 1 point right there across. It just so happens that that's also the end of the tread brought up there. Just make sure. Okay, hopefully that's clear to you now if it wasn't before. Just want to make sure that that's point, because we can make these 3 feet long or whatnot, but you generally want your tread to be longer than your riser. So people standing on stair steps have plenty of room on a tread. Sometimes when you get very small treads, you might fall off stairs if you're not careful. If you've ever been to the pyramids in Mexico, and about an hour north of Mexico City, you know exactly what I'm talking about, how dangerous those can be. Okay, let's bring up our risers. You know how to do this now. Bring it up until it meets the slope. I'll overdraw a little bit so we can see that there and there. Bring over our horizontal. There's the end of our riser right through there. Okay. Then we need to go back to our level vanishing point on both sides where it meets our slope. There, right, and line up our ruler to our VP right there where it meets up our slope here and here, our blue line. That's the end of our slope. That's our next tread ending. Okay, we're going to bring up some more. Let's bring up a riser here. Overdraw just a little bit so we can see that back one here. Let's bring that up so we're above eye level now, above the horizon line. We're in 1 point. There's the end of, whoops, there it is. There's the end of our riser right there. Okay, let's do one more now. One more tread and one more riser, and then we'll finish out. So now we're going down a little bit. here. Okay, so our tread's underneath a little bit there. And get it clear. There's our tread right there. So I'll lightly put a line in. So now we know the distance of our last riser coming up. We're going to do 4 steps. There's our riser right there. And there's where our riser starts right there, where they meet our slope stop right there. And over, there's our last. And that's the end of our platform, or the top stair. Now we go back, we'll go back here to our vanishing point. Okay. And now we can end our platform any length we want. So we can end it, we could go back here and end it. It could be 4 feet if we wanted to. If that's going to give us enough room. Let's see, we don't know how much space this goes back. Let's try that out. Let's see how far that's going to be. We can measure that out even further. Let me get a longer ruler here. There we go. So this would be 4 feet. That's not going to give us enough room because it goes back more than 4 feet. I'm going to say let's make it 8 units in depth, or 8 feet in depth. So there's 4 already. There's 5, 6, 7, and 8 right there. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yes, you'll be in the camera. Good, that's always good. So let's go back now to our 45-degree measuring point from 8 units back. Is that even going to get it? That might be time. We might even need more. So that's 8 feet. Let's see. The only way to tell is to kind of draw it out. And I'm going to bring my vertical up. Yeah, but it makes that platform very small. So I think we're going to need about, I'm going to put 10 over here. So I'm going to put 2 more. I may go out of the camera a little bit. All you need is 2 more ticks over here. So that's 8, 9, right there, and 10. So 9 and 10 right there. You might get out of the camera just a little bit. Let's take it out. There we go. And let's bring that over now to our 45-degree measuring point. So I'm reluctant to make the deep depth on this one until after we've drawn some. So there's, I'm just going to throw a line all the way across, and where it demarcates right there, then that's going to give us enough room to bring up our platform or our stairs right there. There's our platform ending right there, and that's at 10. So that makes the total, so we're 4 feet wide with a step, we're 1 foot tall, and we're 2 feet in depth. And the total stairs are 10 feet deep right there. So 10 units deep, which will help that out as well. All right, so let's clean this up now. And let's shade it a little bit. So let's go in a little now so we can see this. There we go. So we can see what we're on. Pretty complex 1-point stair. And all this was made possible by that wonderful inclined vanishing point that we have utilized. Darken these in. I'll darken in my verticals here. We can see that. There, and there, there. And so we now have very, very accurately measured our steps. So our steps are 4 feet wide, 1 foot tall, and 2 feet in depth. And we have a flat platform, which is really what we're saying. If these are both 2 feet, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and our platform is 2 feet behind 2 as well. So they're really the same size as the stairs. I could have figured it out earlier. That could have been 12 or 14, but that's okay. And then we'll measure. I'll darken these in, and then I'll just sketch and shade in this back platform here so you can see the side plane of it and through there. And now we have very accurate stairs portrayed in our composition. And there we go. And we could put a figure up here, a 6-foot figure up here, or whatnot. Anything that we want to accomplish in our drawing. Okay, that's exercise number 19, measured stairs. These were 4 feet wide, 1 foot tall, 2 feet deep, and the total is 10 foot deep. Just remember what I talked about earlier. Before you get your slope in, figure out how deep you want your tread first, then adjust your slope to that tread demarcation. I'm so sorry that I skipped that step. I missed that, so it's really important. Is demarcate how wide you want your tread to be, your distance of your platform here on your first one, then adjust your slope to that. I want to make sure that you don't leave this lesson and you're confused. Okay, otherwise let's move on now to, I believe, now exercise 20.